Good evening. My name is Brittany Ringo, and tonight I'm going to touch on the skill of listening, which over recent years has been a skill that has sort of diminished in our society. We've become so enveloped in technology and texting instead of calling, emailing, and things like that. And listening has been a skill that has sort of decreased among people today. We've become more accustomed to texting instead of having actual conversation. And listening can be a very important skill, both socially and professionally. So it's something that could definitely be brushed up on. So through today's assignment, I interviewed my 7-year-old daughter on her thoughts of the public school system. I created 10 questions as kind of a guide, but I tried to focus more so not on the questions themselves, but the responses and her ideas based on what was being asked of her. I asked her some basic questions. What's your favorite and least favorite classes? And her answer to that specific question wasn't really what I was looking for. I was more focused on the why of that question. So she explained to me that her favorite class was science, and I asked, why is this your favorite class? She explained to me all the reasons why, and then I tried to take in all of these responses that she was giving me and create more questions based on those so that I could kind of interpret everything that she was telling me and respond to that, giving her feedback and kind of building on the conversation and building on more questions. So I tried to use my questions as a guideline, but the impromptu questions kind of came up more so throughout the interview. We talked about everything from subject material, such as her favorite and least favorite classes, and then we touched on what would be a class if you could create your own. What would you teach? And she told me that she wanted to start a research class where they would have a research lab and create their own books and research projects and things of that nature. And I thought for a 7-year-old that was pretty high level thinking. So I was impressed with that. And I talk to my daughter every day, obviously. So through these new learning exercises explained in the TED Talk, it was much more involved to be listening, whereas from the beginning you would think that an interview would be mostly asking questions. But I think that when you're focusing more on the listening, you create a much more productive interview. So I feel that this was very effective, and I think that if more people could learn to focus on listening when they're, just in everyday life, the listening part is overall more important than the questions.